just play it by ear from there. Maybe I'll be able to live stream a little bit down there, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, yeah, he's always watching TV. It's always really loud too. I really, man, all day though. It's like I wouldn't even mind if it were like 5 or 6 hours, but it's all day long. Well, I mean that's still ridiculous too. Hi there, Eric. You're always first. How are you doing? Oh, better lighting here. What's up? What's up? Yeah, little. How's everything going? Getting ready for the day. I gotta go into town and pick up some stuff from the pharmacy. That's pretty much what I have to do. And then um I'm gonna take Shando out. I'm gonna take him for a little date. Little Shando. It's been a little while since we've actually gone for a hike in the woods, so we're gonna do that. And I'll see if I can live stream a little bit of it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it, but we'll see. If not, at the very least, I'll post like a short or a video or something, you know? How's it going? Okay. And how can someone watch so much TV? That's my question. And why the living room, the only place I have to paint or whatever work, the only space for me to work all day. I mean, when there's a TV in the trailer and there's a TV downstairs in their room, like, I don't, almost seems like they're trying to keep me from live streaming. It really almost does because it's all day long. And then when I'm live streaming, they suddenly act like, I don't know. If they know I'm live streaming, they'll start acting all nice, but I know there's a little tension. So I just, I actually applied for a job. This morning I applied for a job as a doggy daycare attendant. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm going to get a call back, but we'll see. Uh, I guess my therapist was right about everybody having a hard time finding jobs these days because there was like hardly anything. I could only, usually on that app, I can find like 10 jobs to apply for. This time there was only one that I could apply for simply because for one thing I can't drive and a lot of the jobs I saw, a lot of them were in Vancouver. I don't live in Vancouver or close. Um Need a car for a lot of like dog walking, uh at home pet sitting type of jobs. I'm looking for a place that's, close by, but where I can take my Shando. Anywhere where I can take my Shando, I'm good. Mm, Making some coffee. Sorry. How's it going? No, I'm not in Canada. I am not from Canada. I'm not in Canada. Itchy eyes, man. Mm. Yo, when I do that, I forget to take off my makeup before going to bed. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. We'll probably live stream until like, oh, I'm not sure. Well, maybe 1:30. I'd like to leave the house a little earlier. Is it raining? No, actually, not over here. It's not raining here. Nope. Not that I know of. Just doesn't look like it's gonna rain. It looks like it's gonna be a little sunny in the upper 60s. Maybe just leave it when my hair dries. I'm gonna go get my coffee. I'll be right back. Eh, I do not want to have to change my jeans. I really don't want to have to do that. It's okay. At least it wasn't glass. Ooh. Coffee. Hi. Hey, hey, howdy, hey. Hey, howdy, hey. What's up? Hmm. How's it going? Any interviews lined up? Not at the moment, no. I just applied for a job and right now I'm working for the neighbor. I have a part-time job walking the neighbor's job at the moment, which is just it's on call. Right now I have a 3-week position with her, which is I walk her dogs for 3 weeks, 3 days a week, and I make $300 from it, which is pretty damn good. That's pretty solid. Not only that, but the last time I worked for her, I walked the dogs for way less time, like fewer times, and I got a pretty solid payment from that. And also, she gave me a big bag and a huge ass box full of free makeup, like brand new makeup, hair products, skin products, you name it, because she was a hairdresser, I think, or she worked in a beauty salon. So she gave all those things to me for free. Like I'm talking hundreds of dollars worth of products that it's gonna really help me right now. But yeah, that's pretty cool. She's really nice. Her dogs are really sweet. Now whenever I go to her house to pick up her dogs know I'm coming and they look all happy to see me. And it's just that's so gratifying to me, developing a loving relationship with a dog, with dogs. Not that kind of relationship, you sicko. Weirdo. I'm kidding. But yeah. Some people are gonna have weird ideas. But yeah, I like to work around dogs. That's would give me the most that's the most likely way I can bring my dog to my job is if I have a job like that. Either that or, just not unfortunately not I can't really go for the food industry anymore because most of those places don't allow dogs. The cafe I worked at, I was able to bring Shando. It was a unconventional, unorthodox, hole in the wall cafe. I miss it. I miss it when my other manager worked there. Mm. Did you know that Michael Jackson's chimpanzee is still alive? His chimp from the 80s? His chimp was like a baby in the 80s or so. His chimp is like between 41 and 43, and it's still alive, living in a sanctuary. And not only that, but the chimp is like his chimp is the alpha of the whole chimp group living in that sanctuary. It's kind of cool. Oh, put on sunscreen. Okay. I've had this song stuck in my head for like since yesterday. Get down the floor, dancing to the break of dawn. Kind of random. Sorry. Gonna be ready to go on an adventure and get on the train today, Shando? We're gonna get on the train today. I know he loves getting on the train. My boy. My sweet baby boy. Sunscreen. Where's my sunscreen? Where's your portrait? Oh, well then. Got a moisturizer. Hi there. Hi everyone. How's it going? I'd be very weirded out if I found a package from any of my viewers on my doorstep when I have never given out my address and never would because I'm not an idiot. There's a package on your doorstep. Oh shit. Bull pucky. Anybody put the sunscreen? Here to go. Yo, should I wear my Trump hat and live stream my trip into town to see, just to show you guys, see what happens? I've had one person approach me while wearing that. Two people complimented me, surprisingly, because this is in one of the most liberal like places ever, right? It's Portland. Um, but I once I walked by the one of the hospitals near my former place of work, and like there are a lot of like most, I would say 90% of people down there are liberal. I do have two conservative friends who went down there to get a coffee from me, hang out at the cafe. Two conservative friends. Even when I was liberal, we got along so well. Um, Always respected each other. It was very wholesome. Most of our conversations involved, well, with one of the friends, it was philosophy and music, classical music. With another friend, it was, recovery, addiction, the Bible, and all that. She was around when, and she really helped me. I mean, she'd bring me like kratom to help me with my withdrawal, to help with my trying to get off of it, cravings and all that. And she even gave me a Bible. It was pretty cool. Um, Mm. And it's very meaningful to me. It's full of highlights and, little bookmarks that she left in there. But anyway, I'm walking by this hospital and some nurse or medical practitioner comes out and compliments my Trump hat, my MAGA hat. And on another occasion, I was at an intersection about to cross the street, and some dude who just looked like he was, on a jog glanced at me and said, "I like your hat." It was pretty cool. But on the occasion that I got where someone insulted me, I was on the train and I'm heading on my way home with Shando in tow. He's next to me, and this lady, I'm going in there, and I have my headphones in, and I'm always very just polite around people. I always say excuse me. I always get up if a senior or a pregnant woman needs to sit down or whatever. That's just my demeanor. When I'm out and around people, I'm pretty polite. Anyway, the reason why I mention that is because she comes up to me and says, you seemed like a nice person and you have a nice dog, but actually," and I'm paraphrasing, okay? She just tells me basically, "But I realize you're a terrible person because actually I wasn't even wearing the hat then that time. I was wearing my Trump shirt and I took off my coat." And then she saw it and she's like, "And I realize you're just a terrible person." Like, wow, the audacity to come up to someone like that, you know? Like, you don't know me and you certainly don't know my dog either. Shando would go to the lengths of the universe to protect me. He wouldn't let any of those idiots harm me. So there's that. Feel a lot safer wearing that Trump hat in town with Shando by my side. There was this one time when he was just a lot smaller. He was much younger, and I was waiting at the train station, and some dude who he looked like he was like homeless or something. He didn't looked like he hadn't had a bath in months. Anyway, so he comes like shuffling up to me, kind of aggressively, like he's about to ask a question. But Shannon was like, he notices this awkward, unruly, kind of suspicious gait, and he's just like teeth baring. No, Shando doesn't joke. Yeah, he'll tear you to shreds if you try anything. If you come walking up to me all weird, he's gonna growl at you. If you touch me without consent, or if you're looking suspicious and not acting normal, then Shando's gonna act up. He's a good dog, and yet he's also a big love muffin with normal people. No, unless you actually come up and it's obvious, he can sense it. Dogs can sense these things. They can sense someone with bad intent. Oh yeah, almost forgot to put on my sunscreen. Eh. Oh yeah, that felt good. Yeah. Hi there. Wow. Thank you, Santa. If you're struggling, remember you matter and you have support. Thank you, Justin. Keep doing your good deeds, you will be okay. Do not study ignorance. Stupid people. Yeah, well, that's a thing. People try to argue with these people. People try to reason with these people all the time, and it's futile, man. They don't listen. They don't listen. All they do is throw out insults, call you stupid. That's all they can say. That's all they can do is insult, 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 project, project, project. They project like crazy, man. It's like I had been a liberal for over a decade, and I started talking, about why I chose to um, be conservative. And this person, I won't name them because I'm related to them, but they said, "You're living in an echo chamber." And this person is like 17, 18 years old. I'm like, bro, the nerve. The nerve to say that to me when I've been on both sides. And actually, what I'm doing now is the opposite of being in an echo chamber. Before I was in an echo chamber, before I was afraid to step out of this line of thinking because I was afraid I'd lose friends, aka the echo chamber. But they're like, "Oh, you live in an echo chamber." Like, okay, kiddo. Yeah, one of these days you're gonna see, hopefully. You see, I mean, they seem like a smart enough person. It was just kind of shocking when they said that to me. But now they're, they hang out with this specific group, and it's like it truly is an echo chamber. Wherever they are right now, it's an echo chamber. Don't know what else to call it. So there's a projection and a half for you. Sunscreen. See how many times you can get yourself to sneeze using anything you want to, but you only got 3 minutes. The record to beat is 5 times. Can you beat it? Seriously? See how many times I can get myself to sneeze? Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the symptoms of heroin withdrawal, by the way. That's one of the very first symptoms. You sneeze like crazy. Like if I'm coming off that stuff, at first I'll just break out into like 10, 12 sneezes at a time. It's crazy. Come on here, get out of my way. Don't want to get my sunscreen in my hair. Maybe I will wear my Trump hat. See what happens. Oh boy. No, I feel like people need to be more out and open about it, in Portland and in other liberal cities and states because people, the it doesn't help to hide. It doesn't help to hide because you're afraid. Gives everyone the impression that we're not worth helping or funding because everybody's an idiot who's gonna vote for a far leftist politician or governor. It's people. There are conservatives who really inspire me because they have enough courage to step out and tell it like it is and express the truth, whether they get attacked or not. Of course, I'm not using my dog as a shield. For instance, I would never go down there, to the ICE facility at night when they are throwing tear gas and screaming and making lots of noise, and Antifa is attacking people. No, I wouldn't do that just because of my dog. But maybe early in the day at some point, like I mentioned. Thanks for the gift, Ninja Guppy. Yeah, the fad gamer. Yes. I was a heroin addict for 6 years and I've been clean for 3 years. Out of my way, Hal. Funny how once I started to get clean, I mean, even before then, I was really questioning my beliefs and, my political beliefs and even my religious beliefs. Like I'd pray from time to time, even when I was agnostic. When I was agnostic, I was also liberal. And I'd still pray, just in case. I was like, God, if you exist, please show me a sign, or if it be thy will. Um, and I was watching both left leaning content and right leaning content just to, because I like to hear from people I disagree with too, just I find it more interesting to challenge my own viewpoints on things, especially when I'm not certain. And back then somewhere deep down I knew that the reason why I was liberal was because I was afraid of losing friends. I mean, for one thing, I couldn't even stand on my principles. I didn't even know why I stood for what I stood for, other than people condemning me if I thought otherwise. I wasn't allowed to even question it without people making assumptions about me and potentially losing my job down there, you know. Potentially. Even if that cafe were around, they once they found out that I became a Trump supporter and conservative, lean conservative, not far right. Don't They like to call us far right, like everybody, but um whereas I say, like, there are some liberals who I find respectable, who are more like, you know, 90s liberals, except nowadays they say, and I think it's pretty accurate, that conservatives nowadays are more like the 90s liberals, whereas liberals are just freaking crazy now, you know, advocating for violence, advocating for assassination, advocating for all these things, you know. And then they project and act like we're the ones doing it. I was really surprised to hear this major liberal news network, actually admitting that their side is creating all the violence, pretty much, disproportionately, at least. For every one violent attack by a conservative person, there's probably like 20 liberal attacks. Probably. That's just a guess. No, Biden's putting the whole world into a recession, man. And the reason why we're doing so poorly is because, like, in certain places, we're being scammed by illegal immigrants who pretend to be running daycare centers when in fact they're running scam centers where they can scam people, making millions of dollars off of us taxpayers. You go to one of those places and you don't even see any children. Some places are called education centers, and yet they don't even know how to spell. Like the sign on their door is completely spelled wrong. Can't even spell education or whatever. It's just yeah, none of that's true. This country is doing a lot better. He's completed more within his first year than any other president. We've gone from like 77,000 something illegal immigrants in our country to zero coming into our country. He's making our country a lot safer. Of course, liberals don't. Far leftists don't care if people get GR worded. They don't care if Americans are losing their homes and homeless and getting kicked out or whatever. They don't care. All they care about is selective empathy not hurting feelings when in fact it's all contrived, it's all baseless, it's all based in their insecurities. They really could care less about the welfare of people. Um, Whatever is popular in the mainstream, they'll just go for it without thinking twice. If it's popular to call someone something that they're not, then they'll do that until someone thinks that it's a call to arms and that they need to end the person you know, like they're ending the actual dictator from 1940s Germany. And that's just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, even when their lies have been debunked, they continue on, and there will be repercussions for that sort of thing. Slander and defamation needs to be taken so seriously, dude. Like that ruins lives. That ruins lives. Like even if you've been exonerated, so many people know about it and think already they have this they're convinced that that's who you are. Some people will continue to think that you're like a PDF file, for instance, when you're not. No, man, they just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. And they think we're stupid. All the um all the fraud, all the fraud from Minnesota. you know, like Michelle Obama is like not getting along with her husband Barack because he's still working kind of, within the Trump administration or close. And so they're like, she's not getting along with him because she wants for him to have really, really outspoken Trump derangement syndrome like she does. And unless he's able to, do whatever she wants him to do, he's just like, they're just fighting like cats and dogs. So I hear, allegedly, I should say. But find that kind of funny. If you ever heard her on any podcast, and I've never watched the whole podcast with them, but anytime I see a clip, she's always complaining about something. It's like, bitch, please. You really think we care about your struggles? Wow. So out of touch. I mean, Trump derangement syndrome's a sickness, man. It makes people ugly. It makes people super ugly. If it's allowed to persist for so long and people don't ever have a change of heart and they just continue to believe lies that have been debunked years ago. uh I mean, we have a lot of far leftists these days who think that we need to have Sharia law in our country. No kidding. No kidding, they do. They also think, a lot of them still think that um men should be able to just decide that they're women at the drop of a hat once they enter prison, so that they can be transferred to a female prison, and they don't even question it. They don't even look at their record and see that all of their offenses, the reason why they're in prison in the first place, is due to a sexual offense towards women. They don't care. They don't care about women. No, they do not care about women. That's for damn sure. They do not. Hello, Heather. These kids are getting wild. Yeah, I agree, Bat Maggot. Let's make America great again, yes. Bring common sense back. It makes sense as to why he hates California and Minnesota. They lie about him. They commit scams on the people. They threaten Americans. No, I mean, no, those states harbor terrible, evil people. There's a big reason for him to hate those places. I don't blame him for hating those places. They hate him first and foremost. And they harm their people. They actively harm their people by committing fraud and lying. You have to be stupid as a Californian to elect another um liberal politician to run for governor. You'd have to be so foolish. You're embarrassing yourself, super orangish, orangish. Why don't you tell me why I'm embarrassing myself? You guys never give explanations as to why you say the things that you do. You just throw insults. That's all you do. I think you're projecting yourself. You know what kind of a person you really are. Yeah, California's billions in debt. Exactly. Precisely. Billions. While illegal immigrants are shacking up in fraud rings, like places where they can commit fraud and scam the people. Well, everybody else, like you see how many like homeless people and drug addicts live in California. They don't care about the American people suffering and struggling out there, unable to afford any. Everybody's moving away, man. Like everybody's moving out of California. There are multimillionaires with businesses, celebrity businesses, whatever, moving out of California, and pretty soon they're going to be left with nothing but their the illegal immigrants running running these frauds, running these scams on people. And yeah, that's what they want. That's why they want these people there. That's ultimately, eventually, that could very well be their only source of income in the future. I don't know. Mm. People like Tim Waltz and Omar need to be sent to prison ASAP. 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 Omar needs to be sent to prison ASAP. Same with Tim Waltz. Same with the Clintons. Oh, they need to be in prison, but none of them ever talk about that. No, none of them ever talk about their fraud. They just, they care more about the Stormy Daniels scandal from years ago that was resolved, which it was a personal family issue, by the way. They care more about that than they care about the fraud, millions and millions of dollars in fraud by Omar and Tim Waltz and all those people. No, they don't care and they hate Americans. Omar called us stupid. She called us Americans stupid. Like, who'd want someone like that running? It's disgusting. Get this feeling like people from California probably only watch CNN and The View, you know? They probably don't watch anything else, you know, anything with any independent thinkers who can think outside the box, outside of their little echo chamber. Oh, and they probably listen to Hollywood too. Some people think that just because their favorite celebrity thinks a certain way, that means that they have to think the same way, or that they must be right. Let's see here. Sharing my information here. And oops. Get ready to go. Okay, my Instagram. Dot Katrina dot art. And my Discord. Emerald wing underscore wing underscore 13473 emerald underscore wing underscore 13473, and I will pin that. I forgot to check my Instagram this morning. See, I constantly forget to do these things. Sorry. Let's see. Oops. Down the floor. What's up? Well, no. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not gay, and I'm not. You know, I'm not part of that community. No, that doesn't. That doesn't mean when I'm against people in that community. I'm only against certain things that that the trans community enforces. Like, I'm against transitioning little kids, and I'm against, just minors, and I'm against putting men and women's sports, reasonable things, putting men in women's prisons, reasonable things, like 900 plus trophies went to um trans women, aka men biologically. I'm not trying to dismiss them, or I understand, and I actually respect people who identify as trans, like people like Blair White. I mean, she's able to come out and tell it like it is and say, yes, I'm a man who presents as a woman. That's just a fact. That doesn't, there's no shame in that. I don't get why saying that automatically makes you transphobic, because it doesn't. That's ridiculous. I mean, a lot of times if you're like if you're trans, or if you're gay, or if you're a minority of any sort, the left will call you a traitor just for being conservative or having conservative views. Like, they hate Blair White. They hate uh, conservatives who also identify as trans. I, yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, the hypocrisy is staggering. They don't. They only support you if you have a cult like mindset like they do. I think it's pretty damn obvious that I'm a woman. And by the way, I'm proud that I'm a woman. I'm against the fact that they demand that we jump through hoops and refer to them. Like we have to take into account hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of labels that they demand that we add to our vocabulary. When if we ask, they tell us what to call them, what not to call them. And then if we tell them not to call us cis, because I hate that term, it always seems to be used in a derogatory sense. Like even if it's not meant to sound be that way, like they always say, well, no, it's not derogatory. Well, yeah, it is, because every single time that word is expressed, it's said with so much hostility. It's said with so much resentment. It's like, every single person who's ever said that word around me was saying it to insult me, or to just insult uh, people outside the LGBT community, or people who aren't trans in general. Like, not only that, but like I've mentioned before, that term was coined by the same man who wanted to make minor attracted persons a thing. He wanted to normalize PDFphilia, basically. Same guy who coined the term cis. Like, who'd want to be associated with that? No, I'm just a woman. That's all I am, a woman. And no one's ever going to change that. They also want to refer to women as what was it? Like uterus havers, some stupid term. I forget. Like it's almost like they want to refer to women as sperm banks or something like that. It's disgusting. Amazing. So hypocritical. Like they act like they're all for women's rights. Like, oh yeah, we're the ultimate feminists, and then like they're not willing to protect women in any situation if it um challenges their convictions, or their woke viewpoints. Like birther machines, something like that. That's an actual term that they want us to go by as women. You know, it's like they're really trying to dehumanize us, aren't they? No kidding. They really are. Looking for my bottle. Where did I put that? Nah, I just wear a different shadow today. this one. Oh, s- I'm finding things today. Oy, oy, oy. So, aha. No, not that one. Here we go. Thank you for the floating heart, Wendell. Do you have any inspiring and interesting stories from your time before recovery? Well, I'll just say that it was a pretty rough time leading up to the time that someone offered me the foil and I accepted it. Um, and then for 3 years, I snorted the stuff from a syringe. And then after that, like in 2020, I started injecting, and that's when things really went downhill. A year later, my best friend died, and I tried to get off of it. And then I would become, I'd start doing Suboxone, using the Suboxone as a prescription. But I'd go back and forth trying to substitute my heroin addiction with alcoholism and make combine that with the Suboxone also, plus getting back on heroin every now and then almost killed me. And I lost my apartment. I got suspended from work and I nearly lost everything. So I decided to get clean. I started to surrender to recovery. I left that whole environment behind. I went cold turkey. After 6 months, instead of a year, I was actually supposed to be suspended for a year, but they invited me back after 6 months. Um, few months later, after being clean, I got my dog Shando, and he's been such an angel and such a comfort to me. He makes me feel so much stronger. That dog, just giving credit where it's due. Shando, I owe him. We are gonna go out and have a good day, Shando and I. I saw a counselor who was really helpful. My counselor was amazing. I had friends and some family members who were really helpful to me in my recovery. I mean, I highly suggest that even if the first counselor you meet doesn't work out, try keep trying, because there are some really good ones out there who actually have experience in that game, that whole scene. And their words aren't just like coming from a textbook or whatever. They actually have experience and can help, and inspire. And I went to outpatient and I found that really inspiring. I regained my faith and started praying more, and that seemed to help. It seemed to fill me with strength. And I don't, at this point in time, I've been clean for 3 years and I don't crave it anymore at all. I don't want to let my guard down though, because like if something else terrible happens in my life, say like one of my parents passing away, I have to be mentally prepared for that. I cannot predict how my brain is gonna snap at that point. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm a former addict who was an addict that long. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. One of my favorite podcasters or sources, my favorite news sources, one of my favorite news sources is the Officer Tatum. I really love him. I really love his coverage. He's really good. I highly recommend him to anyone who's never heard of him. The Officer Tatum. He's awesome. He's also like a former police officer, and he just exudes common sense. Always try to stay around positive people. Blessed be those who have gone through turmoil and succeeded. Thank you, Morris. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, addict, addicts should be redeemable. We should allow addicts to redeem themselves. I hate it when people say things like once an addict or once a junkie, always a junkie. That's not true. Doesn't have to be. And there are a lot of people who have succeeded, even though most do relapse. Relapse is often part of the process. It doesn't mean in that situation when they're addicts, they relapse when they're trying to get clean. They go through a period, they go through a set of stages, and they might relapse like 3 times before we get better. That doesn't mean we're hopeless. But usually if people say things like, "Yeah, once a junkie, always a junkie," and you're a junkie, cunt, then that's like those people usually need to look into the mirror themselves. They like to shame people so they can distract themselves from their own issues, you know? They like to feel self-righteous. Almost they in their mind like comparing in their mind is like justifying. It's a distraction from their own faults. Misery loves company, so that's when you get away from negative influence precisely. Hello. The environment is a key factor for getting better. Also, yeah. Yes. You know, separating myself from that environment is very key, very helpful in my recovery. Spending more time out in nature or around positive people, like-minded people, you know, people who have the same goal to get clean, or people who are completely outside that realm, you know. Oh shit. This mascara is so wet. That's the only problem I have with it. It's like can be a little messy sometimes. Can just wipe it off a little. Hmm, gotta be careful with that. Where are you taking Shando later? Well, first of all, I have to go pick up my prescription, number one, to get there before 5 o'clock. And then number two, I'm gonna take him for a hike. Take Shando for a hike. Doesn't that sound good getting on the train today? You wanna get on the train? He loves getting on the train, guys. He loves that. Gotta be careful, this wet ass mascara. Okay. Excuse me. Yes. Yeah. Getting clean was the best decision I've made in the past 10 years. Let's see. Another I should mention, uh, I say one of the reasons, and it's true, one of the reasons why I started making this into a recovery channel is because I watched other recovery channels while I was early in my recovery, and I found that very inspiring. And someone in the comments said that we need more channels like this, and so I had the idea that like, hey, why not? Why don't I do it? Why shouldn't I do that? And so I started doing. I didn't expect to even start making this many subscribers. Uh, I started live streaming in mid-January of this year, and I only had 420 subscribers after like 2.5 years or so of posting videos and shorts based on recovery and all that. And then I started live streaming, and my subscriber count went way up. It went from 422 all the way up to 6,200 practically now. Which if we were, having the same momentum as we did in February, man, I'd probably have like over 8,000 or 9,000 by now. It's slowed down a little bit. And it's probably because I'm not doing like 10-hour live streams like I was starting out, I'm doing a little less than I was before. And now we have like people occupying the living room. I can hardly go out there and cook or paint when I want to, or, it's like all of a sudden we're having a few, someone's changing their TV habits all of a sudden, which is kind of suspicious to me, but it is what it is. I almost feel like it's an assertion of dominance in a way. Even though I'm not out there very much, but when I am with my live stream, I can kind of feel the tension and I can tell it annoys people sometimes. And when I'm like painting at that table, it's like seeing me occupy a whole space seems to annoy people, even if it's only for a few hours. It's weird when people like try to make it seem like they're encouraging, but on the other hand, they'll like guilt trip you for it. For instance, like if you wanted to move out and then like they might guilt trip you on one day and then encourage you like so as you say like one of these days I want to move out. Well, I have no problem. There's no problem with that on my end. Like, did I ever say that? Why are you assuming that there would be in the first place? And then why do you have an issue on one day and then on another day just like act like that whole thing, if I even confront them on it, "Oh, no, that was all in your head. Oh, no, I fully support you." Like, no, 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 no. No, I've had enough of this gaslighting. I really have. Had enough of it. We all know what this is. I'm sorry, but it's not going to work out. Yeah, I need to move on. It's been one tragedy after another. Some people expect for you to continue to grieve with them, and I'm sorry, I can't keep doing this. It's been years now. And some people seem to think that when they feel like their lives are over, yours has to be too. You are so good at Skyrim that I rewatch your live streams and use them as tutorials. Seriously? Wow. Now you're really making me want to stop procrastinating and get into OBS Studio. Thing is, like, I anytime these days I'm working on two commissions, and anytime I think I might play video games on my live stream, but then I think to myself, no, I should be painting. I should be using that type of free time to paint. So I do that instead these days. But yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to do that every now and then. Yeah, well, I mean, with heroin, Oregon didn't necessarily legalize it. I mean, in a way, for instance, if they find you with one needle on you, then they're just gonna take it away, maybe give you something like a pamphlet or some number, some contact information, resources that'll help you, whatever. If you have enough to distribute and to sell, though, then you're in trouble. Then you get sent to prison. Or if they find you with drugs on on your person, they might ask you who your dealer was. I've never had anyone catch me with any drugs on me. I've never had any encounters with the police in that regard or anything like that. But I knew someone who did, and they just took their drugs and sent them away, because they only had one needle on their person. But if you're like have enough to sell, if you look like you're the dealer, then you're definitely gonna they're gonna take you to the station for sure. It's already 1:20. I better get there. I did say I was gonna leave as soon as my hair dries. It's close. It's close to dry. Hmm. Oh, what are we sharing? Oh, I'm just getting ready to leave the house. And I thought I'd live stream in the meantime. We've been talking about recovery and addiction and all that. For my hair to dry. Hi, how are you today? Good morning. New Zealand, welcome to Yes, Good, my friend. Hi, thank you. Yeah, one of these days I'd like to have kids, for sure, if I meet the right person. And that's not something I'm looking for online, that's for damn sure. I've never had luck with online dating. And yeah, I think I just need to get out of the house more, really. That'd be a healthier way to do it, per happenstance. Happenstance. One day at a time, exactly. Thank you. No, I didn't do methadone. No, 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 no. I was always prescribed Suboxone, and I'm weaning down from that significantly. In fact, I should have been out of this last uh dosage that they gave me, which, is supposed to last a month. I should have been out of it on the 10th of this month of last month. I should have been out of that stuff. What date is it? What is the date? It is the 7th. Holy crap. Yo, I should have been out of that practically a month ago. Because I've been only taking like one per day instead of two. Sometimes not even. Sometimes I won't even take one. It's like part of half of one, which is great. Because I only take them when I start to feel a little ill, or if I remember and I'm thinking, I'd better do that. Otherwise, I know I'm gonna start feeling weird later. But yeah, I'm just getting ready for my day. Okay. Hmm. What is the temperature again? Siri? I guess Siri ignores me when I'm live streaming. Hey. Hmm, that's weird. Oh, okay. A little bit of ooh, perfume. Okay, well, we better leave soon, baby. Okay, then. What is it? It is Thursday, right? Yep. At the highest, 69. A little cloudy. Precipitation, 5%. Excellent. Get down on the floor. Yeah, I mean, this has like 5% nicotine. It's better. It's better than the pack and a half cigarettes I used to smoke every day, but still not good. It's damage control. I, you know, uh, I'd like to stop smoking weed too. I need to just say no when it's offered to me, man, because I was thinking that I was on a roll the other day when someone came up and gave me some, and I'm like, thank you. But at the same time, I know I'm a lot happier without it. I know I'm happier without it. It works for some people. It doesn't work for me. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good for me though. Sauce. Uh, Looking for a ponytail. One sec. You're an angel, Shando. We're gonna get on the train today. What do you think of that? You excited? Yeah, we better go today. We're gonna go have an adventure. What do you think of that? That's my ponytails. Portable ones, the stretchy ones. Here we go. Oh, I hope I'm not gonna have a hard time with this today. Wish I could see better in here. Can't even see the top of my head in this darkness. Got no light in this room. I mean, I told people like about it, but I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix that, so I don't know. I might have to buy myself a new lamp or something. Holy shit. Wow, that was a pretty long TV session in there, dude. Fucking 7 a.m. to now. All right. Yeah, that's actually fine. Leave it like that. Um, Now, better put my shoes on, use the restroom again. You want to go? You want to get on the train today, Shando? What do you think of that? Let's put on my shoes right now, actually. Okay. It'll probably arrive there by 3 o'clock. If I were to leave now, more like 2:40, 2:45. You have a pet? Yeah, I have my Shando here. He is dog weighs as much as I do. He's a big boy. He's a big muscle boy. Aren't you, buddy? He's a big log. Yo, I mean, eh, well, yesterday I took I've been walking the neighbors' dogs. It's a little on-call job I have. Walking the neighbors' dogs yesterday, and it's a 30-minute walk that I have to give them. And then last yesterday when I got home, I took Shando for a walk promptly afterwards. Took Shando for a 30-minute walk, and he was just so excited to see me and so excited to go for a walk with me that time, like more excited than usual. And last night, usually he lays down at the foot of my bed, as dogs do typically. But this time, he just slept so close to me, man, with his face turned towards me, not the door this time. And he just cuddled on my arm. It's so endearing the way dogs uh, immerse themselves in your scent by hogging your pillow when you're not sleeping on it. Shando's sleeping by my pillow right now, or he's just resting. Yeah, it would behoove us, honey, to get a little exercise. Get on that train. We're gonna get on the train. What do you think of that? Yeah, you see, he got so excited. He was just sleeping on my pillow. As soon as I said train, he got right up. You excited to get on the train? Yes, of course he is. Oh, kerpow. Okay, I'll be right back. Okie doke. Well, where my boy go? Okay. Shando, I gotta put your leash and stuff on. Hey guys, I'm gonna be leaving this live stream very soon here. But please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Thank you for coming to my channel. And yeah, Powell's books, I could try that. As long as I'm able to take Shando. That's a thing. And that seems like one of those places where I might be able to bring my dog here. I know. I know. But I'll see you guys later, okay? All right. Bye bye now. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.